Hi everyone, I'm assuming if you've tuned into this little video that you have gathered some greens and are ready to make your own wreath. You will have a wire frame, all your greens, you'll need some cutters. I have these garden shears, and you need some bendable wire. I had this on hand, it's 26 gauge wire. Whatever you have on hand will likely work, but you want something that bends quite easily. So what we're going to do is create some little bunches. I call them little bouquets. And we are going to use them to build the wreath in a circle, covering up the ends as we go. But to create a little bunch like this, you simply take your big greens and cut them into manageable little branches. And then from the manageable little branches, these end pieces are kind of the best part to make into a bunch. So you just start cutting away. When I say make a bouquet, you just want to make a little fan of greens that will spread nicely over the face of the wire. So I've got something like that right now. And now I'm going to hold it securely, take my wire, and I want to leave a tail so that I can wrap it onto my frame. So I'm going to take a tail, it looks like that's about 8 inches, and I'm going to just wrap it tightly around the end. Then I'm going to take the two ends and twist it with my finger to make it tight and pretty secure. This is pretty, as I said, pretty thin wire, so I can just snip it. And so I've got a bunch there. So taking my bunch, I'm gonna just lay it somewhere around the circle of the wire, and I can take both ends of the tail that I created, and I'm gonna wrap them under the wire and over the end of my bunch. I'm going to do that until I run out of wire, and I'm going to secure it like so. All right, so now I'm going to take my next piece and overlap it on the end by laying my second piece over top of it. And again, I'm going to try to grab at least 2 of these bars and bring my wire around. And if you have a heavier gauge wire, it really will secure by just bending it. All right, so pretty secure. I'm getting down to my last piece. Now I've put about 12 or 13 of those little bunches on this wreath. When I get to my last one, for the one I want, I'm going to lift up the end of the first one and tuck this last one, I think it'll be my last one, underneath it. So I'm going to want to secure it under the front of that first bunch. A little bit awkward. Again, I'm gonna try to pull them tight. So you want to leave quite a bit of tail on your wire when you make your bunches, so you'll have enough to secure it pretty well. And see if that's going to be my last one. Yeah, I think so. All right, so now I've got my circle wreath. Now, if you come around and you say, oh, you know, I'd really like a little more here, you can add a bunch in, you know, secure it in. Basically, you want to cover the wire frame and keep the circle shape. So I think we've kind of accomplished that. Okay, so you can add embellishments. I was asked to show you how to make a bow. Now this isn't a huge wreath, so our bow doesn't need to be huge. But I'll show you, this is wired ribbon, and that actually does work really well when you want to be able to shape it and have it keep its shape. I'm going to pinch the, about 1.5 inches, 2 inches in, I'm going to pinch a little squeeze in my wire, and then I'm going to make a loop. When I grab that loop right where I pinched it, I'm going to twist it. And then I hold both sides together with these thumb and forefinger. Okay, now I'm going to create another loop on the opposite side, bring it right to that pinch point, and twist. Okay, now I'm going to just build the loops on either side of that original pinch point as I go. So again, a little bit bigger loop here, and twist. And again, it doesn't need to be a massive bow on this size wreath, but okay. And the nice thing about the wire ribbon is that when I'm done, I can kind of adjust it and it'll stay right where I want it to go. So that might do it, and I'm going to put a couple little tails on it. To do that, I just allow this piece to hang and snip it. Then I take this wire and I'm just going to create 2 more tails that can kind of finish my bow. And I just center it right on the pinch point, add it, and then decide how long I want it to be and cut it. And then I take my same wire and I am going to wrap right at this pinch point as pretty tightly so it will hold. This wire could be a little thicker for this job. And again, we want to leave some tail so we can attach it to the wreath. So the wire crosses right at that pinch point, and I pull it as tight as I can. On the back side, I turn it with my index finger wrapped around the wire. Tie it off, and now I can cut my wire. Then, depending on what I want to do, I think I might, sometimes I prefer the bow at the bottom. I don't know. It's all whatever you like. So now I'm just going to kind of move some branches around and get my wire attached. Kind of sit it up a little bit, I think, on the curve of the frame, and then I'm going to just twist it as tightly as I can to secure it. I'm just twisting that wire around. And that. So there's just a really simple wreath and bow, and you can add other embellishments if you have them. Pine cones can be wired in, or little berries, or whatever suits you. And again, you can adjust the bow to position it the way you like it. And that is a really simple way to do a Christmas wreath.